So here I am in Washington DC, or for fans of the Fallout series, which probably is only me of those watching the vlogs, the Capital Wasteland. So yes, you may find more than a few Fallout 3 references, comparisons, etc. Although not as in-depth as Fallout 4, because I've only played Fallout 3 through once, siding with the Brotherhood Steel, of course, and vaporizing the Enclave with Liberty Prime. Lovely say, has to be said. And yeah, I've got a couple of hours actually before I have to check into the hotel. Apparently early checking is dissuaded at this place, and it's 4 o'clock, so I'm just gonna go find a cafe, finish my book, and find something perfectly unhealthy to eat. No plans? Yeah, I know, similar refrain. For this afternoon, but I'll check in and probably start looking at the one or two of the main spots, and then again get a tour bus for tomorrow organised and poke around the city that way, not least because it's going to be, I think, 22 degrees Celsius. Possible rain in the evening. Don't know yet. Yeah, so 2 destinations down, 2 to go. I need to sort out a taxi for ridiculous o'clock on Sunday. Thank you very much, American Airlines. Although I'm not too sorry, because you're all being hit by coronavirus flight stuff, so, you know, swings and roundabouts. Is that cruel? Is that mean? Quite probably. But what could you do? Spiteful individual and all that. So see you later. And yes, looking forward to seeing the latest news from home and hysteria. Good morning from sunny Washington DC, or if you're Astafaria, hello from Babylon. It's a gorgeous morning, and everybody's out and about soaking up this freakish heat wave that we're experiencing here on the eastern seaboard, which I've been admittedly glowing on and off over the last few days in vlogs passim rather, but there we are. So today's plan is to walk all the way over to Virginia, to go to the Pentagon, to Arlington Cemetery, which unfortunately has been closed owing to the virus, although most of the inhabitants of Arlington really won't feel it, and also go to the Pentagon more because there's some Lego I want to be buying, a Lego Washington DC kit to add to the others I've got at home. So I'm going to begin this vlog right next to nuts. There he is. President Andrew Jackson, who of course beat the British in the Battle of New Orleans in 1814, 1 week after the war ended, quite famously, and became the president, I think, known for for holding the Union together, admittedly by a thread, from 1820 onwards, right up until the outbreak of the Civil War. Not that he was president for 40 years, mind, but he enacted policies which essentially kept it all together, because the South were agitating at the time. And across the way here in Lafayette Park is the White House itself. Is it a center of COVID-19 at the moment? We don't know that. Certainly the president of Brazil is allegedly infected. Certainly one of his aides is. Has it spread all the way through the current administration? We don't know, but all eyes will be on the media in the next couple of days to see if they start beginning to isolate themselves en masse. So I'm going to go around the White House, take a few snapshots, walk over to the Washington Memorial, and then head west over the one of the many bridges over the river. So I will see you shortly. So there's the White House. Again, a bit closer up. This is as far as I can get without breaking the security cordon. Yes, Fallout 3, it's a hole in the ground, and a bit more poignant to me, the Harry Turtledove Timeline 191 books. The books, 10 of them, where the South wins the Civil War. 1862, the South wins. Soldiers are camped out on the lawns, forcing Lincoln to surrender. But later on in those books, the White House is effectively empty as the government moves to Philadelphia because they don't want to be under Confederate guns, at least until they're beaten in the Second Great War, 1944. Lovely sight. You imagine policemen on here. It's a mixed bag. Very hot, very muggy, but some lovely views at the very least. Calming, soothing. You can see why they chose it as the centre for executive authority. Here's the United States Treasury, which looks eerily like the one in Horse Guards Parade in London. No fallout for this, no references there. I think this is also part of the great big crater that was the White House in Fallout. Building where ostensibly there's supposed to be lots of money, but I think most of the money is in Fort Knox or in the Raw Mint in the Mint in Philadelphia. So this trapezoidal building is the African American Museum of History and Culture. There we go, very nice, very modern. And coming up on my right is the butt of every sitcom joke where a character goes to Washington DC. Old Pointy itself. There we are. Overrun by super mutants in Fallout 3. You have to liberate this for the Brotherhood of Steel, if you can be inclined, that is. Yeah, big bugger. Bigger than the one in Bunker Hill in Boston. And yes, you can go inside, but no, we're not going to be doing that today. So yes, an obelisk is an obelisk is an obelisk. So behind me is the Jefferson Memorial, where the second president of the USA, I don't think he's interred here, although it might be, but certainly this is his big tribute built almost 100 years ago, or certainly started almost 100 years ago, and I think finished during the Second World War. So Thomas Jefferson, who was he? Second president of the USA, of course, native Virginian, had many kids by his wife and many other kids by his slaves, quite well notorious and fertile on that front. I think they've calculated something like 60,000 descendants today, which, go Tom. He was very much pro-Republican, not as in the party, as in the United States should not have any form of monarchical government. He believed very much against concentrating all that power in one person. He was a scientist, an inventor, not entirely unlike Ben Franklin, lawyer by trade, a farmer, and of course under his watch America doubled in size with the Louisiana Purchase. Anybody who's watched Hamilton the musical will know that it was under it was around this time that Jefferson and Burr were both vying to be president, but they chose they chose Jefferson over Burr because they thought he was less of a psychopath, even though they tabulated pretty much the same number of electoral college votes. And of course Burr ended up killing Hamilton in a duel. So in terms of Fallout then, because of course I can't let that one slip by, this is the This is the core location. This is Project Purity, the site of the attempt to purify the waters of the Potomac to make it safe to drink, having been heavily irradiated for the last 200 years. And it's here that the climax of the original Fallout 3 game takes place. The area is generally overrun with super mutants, and you have to clear them out before you can take control of Project Purity, rescue Liam Neeson, because of course he always needs rescuing, and yeah, enjoy that. So it's a lovely view from here on the steps. Treasury building there, Washington Monument there, bridge, stuff, and the odd plane taking off and landing. Don't know if you saw that because I can't see the screen, but there we are. So next for me, I'm going to be heading southwest over one of the many bridges across the basin and into Virginia itself. See you across the border. So I don't know if you can see in the background, there she is, the world's largest office building, the Pentagon. My God, this road is noisy. Otherwise known as the Citadel in Fallout 3. And this is the bridge you lead Liberty Prime across to get to the Memorial. So, bloody hell, I'm gonna have to quit because I know when I'm beat. So is this Mr. Prez going home or something, maybe? A convoy of 3 military copters? Good question. Unfortunately for me today, thanks to COVID, Arlington Cemetery, there on the right, or as I'm looking on my right, is closed. So I can't go in and have a poke around. But I can show you the Pentagon again. So Arlington, again on the right, is was built on the grounds of General Robert E. Lee, his estate, and Lee commanded the Confederate armies in the Civil War. Another native Virginian, and I think the estate is actually technically his wife's, who was moneyed in her own right. And when the USA descended on the South, they buried all of their money and they legged it. And after the Civil War, because Robert E. Lee didn't live long after the Civil War, he had a heart condition. His wife basically sued the government and won compensation for the seized land, and now it's used mainly as a military cemetery, and JFK is buried there and a couple of other famous Americans. So that's Arlington. And of course the Pentagon, I don't know how close I'll be able to get as a civilian. I know the 9/11 memorials should still be open. Again, COVID, any announcements today pending. Yes, the Pentagon. Citadel in Fallout 3, where the Brotherhood of Steel has its headquarters, and it's from here that you have to help, or indeed hinder, the Brotherhood as they fight the Enclave, who are the remnants of the US government who hid from the Great War on an oil rig, the Poseidon oil rig, which, not necessarily a smart tactical maneuver, but it is a video game, and yeah, frankly, who cares? So, yeah, it's yeah, I'm stumped for something to say, other than the fact that I'm bloody thirsty, and I could really go for a Coke or something. All those cars. I mean, the Pentagon is what? 65,000 room for 65,000 office workers, or something obscene like that. It's incredible to think all those people packed into this one space. I mean, that's the entirety of Whitehall and then some, to put it in a UK context, all on one site where it's, well, very well catered for, if you believe the stories, the rumours. Right, what's next then after gawping around here? Well, I'm going to go to the mall, try and find this Lego kit, and I think it's then time for a spot of lunch. So this afternoon, I think I'm going to go back to the mall, finish looking around. I haven't sort of done the outsides of the museums. Now, we don't know if they're going to be still open today, tomorrow, whatever. But it seems to be everything shutting down in phases because of viral fears. So I don't know. I hope I don't get to miss out. But if I do, well, Washington will be here tomorrow. One hopes. I hadn't quite appreciated the cemetery goes that close to the road. I suspect these are your average war grave. No luminaries buried here. One can't resist the lure of a chair massage. So here I am in the Pentagon Mall, having a shiatsu chair massage. Sadly no Lego this time. The Washington DC sets have been retired and they're being brought out for a fresher version next year. Great lunch downstairs. Back to it as soon as the massage is finished, and I'm caffeined up because that's very important too. I might have to head over to the Smithsonian sooner rather than later. From looking at today's news, it's not looking good.